Now that we have a way to select text, the next step would be to apply filtering to the list of playlists. And for this, we'll have to reach out to text store, since that store contains an array of selected tag IDs. And I prefer to reach out to text store not from within playlist store, but from within the component directly. And that is why let's extract this filtering logic from the playlist store and put it directly in the component where we display list of playlists. We no longer need to export filtered playlists from this store, so let's remove this entry from here. Let's also fix this code now that we have moved filtered playlists outside of the store. So we have to reach playlists by using playlist store variable like this. And also we don't have to reference value property. Same goes with search query variable. We have to access it by using playlist store variable. And let's get rid of value property right here. And we can just reference filtered playlists variable directly in the template, since now filtered playlist is a local computed property. So before going any further, let's just open up browser and check if all playlists are still rendered properly. But now we have moved filtered playlists property from the store directly into playlist grid component. And if I'm going to apply the search, as you can see, it still works. As the next step, we're going to apply filtering by text. So back to the component. In here, we're gonna receive text store. And right after we have applied filtering by the search query, we're gonna call filter method again to apply filtering by text. And right here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reference selected tag IDs that is contained within text store. And by using method every, we're going to check if all those selected tags are associated with a particular playlist. Every playlist has tag IDs property that contains all tags related to that playlist, and we can check if the selected tag is contained within this array of tag IDs of the playlist by using method includes. As a side note, this every method will return true in case the closure that we have passed into this method is going to return true for each tag identifier from selected tag IDs array. And now let's see if filtering by text works as we expect to. I'm going to select a couple of tags, and there we go. As you can see, playlist list has been filtered. At the same time, we can also apply filtering by the search term. But for now, only the search term has been added to the address line. We need to make sure that tag identifiers selected by the user will also appear in the address bar. Let's implement this next. Back to the editor. Let's open up playlist filters component. In here, I'm gonna receive the store in the text store constant. And just like we have done with the search query right here, when on the page load, we're fetching search param from the address line and saving it in the store under search query variable, we're going to do pretty much the same with selected tag IDs reactive variable. But in this case, we're gonna call query param tags, and if text param is present in the query string, we're going to cast this text param to the string first, and then let's convert all those identifiers into numbers by using method map. Otherwise, if text param is not present in the query string, we're gonna call back to the empty array. And now if I'm gonna specify this text param in the address bar and reload the page, as you can see, tag with an identifier 4 has been selected. But at the same time, this text param has been removed from the address bar. We need to keep it there. Before fixing this, let's also make sure if we're gonna specify tags separated by comma, all those tags will be selected. This time, we have 2 tags selected, as expected. Alright, cool, let's synchronize tag identifiers with query string, so that every time we're gonna select different tags, everything will be reflected in the address bar. I'm gonna open up playlist filters component once again, find the watcher that we have in here, which currently watches for changes in the search input. But now we're gonna have to add one more entry in the list of variables we're going to watch for. I will enclose it in the array so that we're watching for changes in the search input as well as in the list of texts. And every time any of those filters will change, this watcher is going to fire a closure that we specified in here. And just because we're watching for two variables at the same time, this closure is going to receive an array of values. Those will be updated values of the search query as well as selected tag identifiers. I'm going to apply the structure into the param of this closure so that each variable will contain corresponding updated value. Let's declare a constant called query. This will be an object of all query string params, where key and values will be strings. And now we're going to separately check if search query is present. We're going to add this query to the address bar, meaning that we'll have to add new key to this query object called search. And the same goes with list of tags, but firstly, we're checking if user has selected at least one tag. In that case, we'll have to synchronize user's choice with query string. We're going to join all selected tag identifiers from the selected tag IDs array by using method join. We're joining those IDs with comma and assigning resulting string of tag identifiers to the text property of the query variable. In this way, we are dynamically building query object, which is representation of query string params that we can use and replace current query string params with updated ones by using method replace on the router object and passing updated query object, like so. And in order to get rid of all those errors related to types, we need to state that this array of values that we are watching for will always have the same types in order, so that the first element from this array will always be a string, and the second element will always be an array of numbers. To do so, we are adding as_const in here. After selecting a couple of tags, we're seeing how the list of playlists has been filtered and selected tag identifiers have been added to the address bar. And if I'm gonna refresh the page, those tag identifiers will persist and particular tags will be selected. If I'm gonna add search query, the corresponding search param will be added to the address bar as well. In the whole state of filters, including search query as well as selected tags, will be maintained. And on each page refresh, the filter selection will be restored. And in those cases when any of those query string params will be empty, they will be automatically removed. The link to the source code of this project will be in the video description.